Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox here, and I'm back with another Game of Thrones Season 8 news video. In these videos, I go on Watches on the Wall, and I give my thoughts and opinions on the latest news to break. And for our first piece of news, they've actually started filming Game of Thrones, which is really exciting, because there have been a ton of cast sightings. There have been many people spotted in Belfast, and that includes Liam Cunningham, Natalie Emmanuel, Jacob Anderson, Gwendolyn Christie, Kit Harington, Rupert Vandeswart, Joe Dempsey, Hannah Murray, Sophie Turner, and Emilia Clarke. And there are a couple really significant points about this news. First of all, they're filming in Belfast, and that usually means the North or Winterfell. And second of all, in the show, some of these actors are currently on a ship heading to White Harbor, whereas other actors are sitting in Winterfell. So what I think is most important is they're rallying the cast together to film very important scenes at Winterfell. And I would say right now they're either filming the first or second episode. And I think we're going to see all of our favorite characters together really developing a plan on how to deal with the White Walker threat, as well as the looming Queen Cersei threat from the south. But the most important news is that they're building a brand new castle set in Belfast for Game of Thrones Season 8. And the set that they're building is absolutely massive. And it's been reported that they also want controlled fire involved with this set. But the building of this giant castle means a lot of things. First of all, it means that it's extremely significant. If you see a set that's being completely constructed, it means that actors are going to be interacting with it. And this level of set design is usually built to last multiple seasons. For example, they would build a set like Castle Black, and that set would last throughout the whole show. But since this is the last season of Game of Thrones, this is the only time they're going to be using this castle. And since they're really diving deep and investing a lot of money into building this giant set, I feel like they're going to utilize it to the fullest. It's also been seen next to this set are a bunch of siege weapons. And these weapons are called trebuchets. And they are weapons that are used to fire projectiles at enemies. And there's only one person that we have seen use trebuchets in the past, and that is Daenerys Targaryen. In Essos, we saw her use them to fire slave collars at her enemies in Essos. Now the real debate is, what castle is this? And I think it raises a lot of debate, and I truly believe it's between three places, and some are more likely than others. First of all is White Harbor. We know that Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen are headed north to White Harbor with the rest of their crew, and I think it will have a significant role in the upcoming season. Secondly, I think this castle could be Winterfell. We've already seen an exterior set of Winterfell, however this set could be used simply to be destroyed. But thirdly, the most likely option is I think that this is King's Landing, and more specifically the Red Keep. And I think that there's one key hint at why this would be King's Landing, and that's the windows you see on the structure. If you look at Winterfell as a castle, it's strictly walls with no windows, and it makes sense because it's a castle in the north. And I think White Harbor would be the same. You're not going to put windows on a castle in the middle of winter. Whereas King's Landing is in the south, and they usually have a warm climate, which would warrant them having a lot of windows. And we've seen King's Landing, and we know that's how it's structured. And from a story perspective, this makes a lot of sense. The last time we saw Cersei, she had Euron Greyjoy escorting the Golden Company to Westeros. She currently has her Lannister force, 20,000 Golden Company soldiers, as well as Euron Greyjoy's fleet. And we did hear Cersei tell Jaime her plan in Season 7, which was to sit in King's Landing and wait out the White Walker threat, and take out any of the remaining survivors. But I don't think that that is going to happen in Game of Thrones Season 8. In Season 7, they introduced that Cersei was pregnant, and Cersei made it very clear that she wanted to start a new life with Jaime, and pave the road for their new dynasty involving their baby. But in the last season, Jaime left Cersei alone, and the only thing she has left is her baby. Now, referring to the plot leak of Game of Thrones Season 7, it said that Cersei would have a miscarriage. And we didn't see that in the last season, but I think we will see that in this season. And that will leave Cersei with absolutely nothing. And we know that Cersei is very vengeance-driven, and I think since she has nobody else left in her life, she will be strictly driven by getting revenge on those who have wronged her. And that involves many people. She wants revenge on Sansa, on Tyrion, Daenerys. The list goes on. And to do that, I think she's going to be the aggressor in this situation. I think she's going to want to surprise Daenerys. She knows that Daenerys believes that she's going to help out. I think she's actually going to send her Golden Company north. And I think Cersei will do just that. I think the Golden Company could be sent north to potentially lay siege to Winterfell. And that warrants a lot of debate on whether it makes a lot of sense. I think it would be interesting because Cersei stated in Season 1 that only a fool would attack Winterfell because it's so large. No one can maintain it. And I think that would be really significant if Cersei came full circle and actually laid siege to Winterfell because of how far she's been pushed. I think on top of sending the Golden Company north, I think she would have Euron Greyjoy attack White Harbor. White Harbor was mentioned in the last season, and I think we're going to see it in the upcoming season of Game of Thrones. It is the most important port for the North. It allows the North to be able to trade, to travel. And I think if Cersei attacks White Harbor and eliminates it, it really cuts off their legs. It cuts off the ability for Northerners to safely leave the North. And it takes away their ability to gather resources. And I think this is something that Cersei would definitely do because she did learn that White Walkers do not swim. And a really good way to screw over your enemies is to take away their ships, to truly eliminate their protection from the White Walkers. And the reason why this play is so significant is that it leaves King's Landing open. In the show, it's not realistic to see 20,000 Golden Company men go to war with Daenerys' Dothraki and Unsullied, as well as Jon Snow's men. That'll just cause more bloodshed and distract from the inevitable threat of the Night King. That's why I think that there's another way to side the Golden Company with Jon and Daenerys. I don't think the Golden Company will be staying at King's Landing, because then Daenerys wouldn't even be able to lay siege to it because she'll be too busy fighting them. In order for Daenerys to properly lay siege to King's Landing, her large army cannot be there to protect her. So the bottom line is, this season I think we're going to be seeing two major action set pieces at two of the most beloved castles of Game of Thrones. We're going to see a giant attack at Winterfell, which we've seen the set built. And now we've seen a new set, and I think the evidence strongly points to it being King's Landing. But please let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Do you think that this is King's Landing? Or do you think that this is another castle that I haven't mentioned? Please leave a like and a comment down below, let me know. I'm going to be coming out with more videos this week, but until next time, I'll see you guys later.